Hi, so in this video we are going to talk about Descartes' Cogito argument, the I think therefore I am argument, and I'm sure you guys have heard about it before. This argument shows up in different works, such as Discourse on the Method and Meditations on First Philosophy and Principles of Philosophy, but the real phrase, I think therefore I am, or cogito ergo sum, shows up in Principles of Philosophy, but I would like to start with a quote from a section in Meditation. It's Meditations 2, and the quote goes, "I have convinced myself that there is absolutely nothing in the world, no sky, no earth, nor minds, no bodies. Does it now follow that I too do not exist? No. If I convinced myself of something, then I certainly existed. But there is a deceiver of supreme power and cunning who is deliberately and constantly deceiving me. In that case, I too undoubtedly exist. If he is deceiving me, and let him deceive me as much as he can, he will never bring it about that I am nothing so long as I think that I am something. So after considering everything very thoroughly, I must finally conclude that this proposition, I exist, is necessarily true whenever it is put forward by me or conceived in my mind." As you can see, Descartes bases a lot of his arguments on doubt, and he wants to get rid of this idea of doubt, so he comes up with this cogito argument. To understand doubt, we have to understand sensory perceptions, and Descartes says that sensory perception causes us these false beliefs of the world around us, so we have to really focus on our intellectual beliefs instead of these sensory perceptions. And if you think back to the quote that I mentioned earlier, he says that I have convinced myself that there's absolutely nothing in the world, no sky, no earth, no minds, no bodies, and this is him talking about how we really can't rely on our senses. Also, looking back on that quote from earlier, there is a section that he talks about this supreme power who is deceiving him and trying to give him false beliefs. Well, this could be called the evil demon argument, and I have right here, it says, what if someone is screwing with my head? So what if there was some evil kitty out there in the sky who is planting different beliefs in my head that is actually real? So this evil kitty can be manipulating my thoughts and making things seem one way when they really aren't. So maybe me, being a person who loves kitties so much, can think that all kitties are nice, furry little creatures that love to be pet and purr when I pet them. Well, this evil kitty in the sky might try to make it seem like all kitties are good when, in fact, all kitties are actually out there to get me. And I don't really like talking about evil kitties that much, so we'll move on to the next way that our senses can deceive us. This next one is called the dreamer argument, and it's kind of like, you know, when you have really super vivid dreams and you think it's real right when you wake up? Well, those things can seem really real to you. I know, like, I have a lot of dreams, and when I wake up, there is a moment of confusion where I feel like what I dreamed was real and me waking up wasn't real, so sometimes I'll think that I'm actually dreaming when I'm not dreaming because my dreams seem so real. And this doesn't apply just to when we're sleeping. It can be when we feel something but we really don't know if it's a real feeling or if it's something that we perceive that's a real feeling. And Descartes uses an example about a stick in shallow water. There could be an optical illusion where there's a stick in a pond and it looks bent, but the stick is actually straight. Another example would be when we see something really far away and we think that it's small, but in reality, if it's up close to us, then we see that it's really big. Or I guess this could work the other way around. You know, if you take like a really touristy photo and you act like you're pinching the Eiffel Tower just because you're closer in the foreground, you look a lot bigger than the Eiffel Tower, but the Eiffel Tower is actually like so much bigger than you are. So these examples just give us reason not to believe what's going on, or else it makes us doubt what's going on around us. So Descartes actually has a solution to this, and the solution is the title of this video, which is Cogito ergo sum, or as we know it, I think, therefore I am. And I'm sorry, but I have to interrupt this to tell you guys a joke. I'm sure you guys have heard it before, but I like it and I like jokes. So, Descartes is in a cafe, and the waiter comes up to Descartes and says, "Sir, would you like some soup with that?" And Descartes answers, "I think not." And poof, Descartes disappears. But that's not really how this Cogito argument works. So just ignore what I just said, or no, actually don't ignore that. It was a funny joke, so you guys better enjoy it. The real way that this argument works is a resistance to the attempt to kind of undermine all of our beliefs through doubt. Well, we're saying that no, you can't undermine all our beliefs because I exist. My existence proves this. And because I have the ability to think about my own existence, I must exist. Because you can't think if you don't exist. Keep in mind that this argument is based on the individual existence, so it's like my perspective, I exist, and in my mind, like this is my mind and I know that I exist. So existence isn't really necessary, but if I am going to think about my existence, then existence is necessary because I can't think without existing. And this isn't really based on empirical evidence, but it is saying that this is a self-evident truth, it is a self-evident proposition. But what's the point of this argument, you may ask? Well, this isn't an argument to prove that, hey, I exist because I can think about my existence and blah blah blah. It's not about that. This is a way to prove that there are self-evident truths, and because there are self-evident truths like this, we can actually get somewhere in thinking and furthering our intellect. Since we have this intellectual self-evident truth, then we have a way of getting past all of the doubts that are brought on by our sensory experiences. So in short, this argument is a basis for furthering our knowledge. There are criticisms to this argument. Soren Kierkegaard says that, well, does this Cogito argument actually work because Descartes is kind of presupposing the existence of I, so wouldn't this all kind of be logically trivial? And I don't really know that much about Kierkegaard because I only read the 51st pages or so of Fear and Trembling. Well, I'm going to stop while I'm ahead and say that I don't know, like Socrates, and I can say that maybe we could discuss this in class sometime about Kierkegaard's criticism on this argument. A criticism that I can explain is the people's misguided attempt to see this argument as a syllogism. So you're not really supposed to say things like 1. Anything that thinks exists. 2. I think. 3. Therefore I exist. That's actually wrong. You're only supposed to see this argument as a two-part equation. It's just 1. I think, and 2. Therefore I exist. Because all of these things that we do, thinking, doubting, believing, any mental function, proves that we exist because we are aware of doing these things. This awareness amounts to awareness of existence because we can't do any of these things without existing. And that's all I have for you guys, so if you have any questions, you can talk to me in class, and maybe we can all try to figure out that Kierkegaard criticism together, because I'm not really sure about that one. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys in class.